are the melanin carriers on this planet. You were the original 12-stranded people, and you were given that privilege through a whole lot of work and time. It was not something given to you by chance. Because you fell from grace and sought to make better than your Creator, you suffered by that you created, and then also was brought to your planet that you created in a higher form. In other words, once you think that you are a God, you must act God-like, not sometime, but all the time. Because once a God falls short, there are so many things that are not God-like, just waiting to lapdog you up and tear you apart, that you're open then to the whole holocaust of the cosmos, not the faked holocaust on earth. The real Jews, as you found out, are you. The 13 tribes had nothing to do with just earth people. It embodied Lucifer Maldek, the exploded planet, which rained down upon you those lost souls, which destroyed a whole planet in your system that you helped sustain. Many of you are reincarnate Maldekians, Luciferians, and you probably don't even want to deal with that. But if it is truth, it will come back to haunt and vibrate. I'm style triggering all your opening points. We'll see which ones run with it. In the great role of play that is a planet, people are brought to it to learn.
I looked inside and realized everything in life is intertwined with divine orchestration. Many revelations I've seen have led to persuasions of consciousness elevation, and it's all cause of meditation. See, we slaves in the system, though simultaneously we gods in training that keep maintaining or constraining ourselves to attain new inspiration. Check it. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Your DNA contains within it ancient wisdom that can flow through every facet of your mind, of course, your divine, of course, and all your ancestors' experiences are embedded within the fabric of your essence, and it's a blessing, but yet you stressing because you look for solutions externally. You fail to realize all the answers to your questions lie internally. You need to meditate to activate your DNA and watch how you acclimate your demon ways to the truth, young God. Now on the count of 3, we about to elevate your DNA to a whole nother level. 1, 2, 1, 2.
What up, Kyle?
3. Humans, gather around and hear the sound. Let's go. My DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. My DNA activated, electromagnetic light, double helix to 12 strands. I triple my sight. I see fire inside my soul. I spit fire through every letter. Desires to get higher, then turn me to something better. Like the shredder, I be shining on these Ninja Turtles, but I'm Master Splinter. Where the fuck my Ninja Turtles? Check my team, we the bomb. We glowing like we neon. Dope music, what we beyond. We infinite and beyond. Metatron's cube, hater, don't be transforming. See, we came to spread the love and it's going forward. Now get ready, humanity, we gon' heal the insanity. Blending fire with your soul as travels through your anatomy. You can't body me, my mind crystalline, homie. We are one, we all connected, but I'm one and only being every bobbing and weaving is light I'm perceiving. That got me achieving my purpose with reason. I'm feeling this beast, I'll be killing this cause my DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. My DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. Okay, I'm ripping this verse. Better be careful, I set an example. I'm cosmic and I came from the universe. Hot like a candle, I came to dismantle the lies and give you the truth till it hurts. You cannot fuck with me, but you should fuck with me. Together we can no end with this fuckery, whoa. We can no end with this fuckery, whoa. We powerful, time that you know. Don't get attached to the physical mind, time to let go. We writing hieroglyphics, you don't understand this danger to a city. Got an alkaline and turn into a mystic, homie, I'm realistic. And you gotta get with the way. I refuse to be a slave. I create tsunamis and no one above me, I be spitting water for days. Poseidon, you haters, I'm blocking invaders through astral realities. All emulators will die, you rise like a phoenix. With fire and light and an aura so brightly surpassing Anunnaki beings. I splice through genetics, creating prophetically. Transcending hell while I'm breaking the spell as I do it so well, I'm breathing energetically. Whoa, let me breathe, I be Fibonacci creating a sword, I'm amazing to feel the sensations of unification. My humans relating, it's cause my DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. My DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. Hey yo, if you ain't vibing with this track, then go back to sleep. I guess you just ain't ready this time around. Maybe next time. Yeah. DNA activated. Woo! Gods and goddesses, you are now activated.
Peace and blessing from 113 of Arisha Stone. Peace and blessings to the tribe. How's everybody doing?
Peace, God.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Peace, God.
What's good? What's good? Man, tonight I wanted to tap in with the guys because one, man, we got to slow down when it comes to this guy. I thought I used to move fast up until I met Teharka. And now that we do, yeah, you home now, you know what I'm saying? You gave us a lot of wisdom and knowledge last time, so I wanted to tap back into that. I brought some brothers in tonight with Brother Vibes, who wanted to talk a little bit about lucid dreaming tonight. I also got another brother coming in, because we want to step up the conversation, man. I know a lot of times I get stuck in the loop trying to explain the basics to a lot of people, but now we're in a different kind of room, so I'm going to step it up a little bit and utilize this information. A lot of people that got a lot of useless information. Let's find some information we can utilize. So with no further ado, how you doing, God? Never talk. Peace to the guys. How are you?
Oh, I'm well. All is well. The universe, all that's ever exists, is working on my behalf, and so I'm glad to be here with some knowledge that can really help us to. It's one thing, I love the passage, being God all the time. But what we're realizing and awakening to is that everything we did in the etheric realm, we can do in the physical realm. Everything. And so what we are remembering is that we can do what we did as a fourth dimensional being in this 3D. And we don't have to be influenced by these programs. And that's why I love what you have in place. Element 113, Ken 113. I love it. So thank you for having me here again. All right. And so, Star Family, it's a pleasure to be here. I know that we're going to be, who we have is God-like is a choice. Absolutely. And you have free will. And you know something? I love that, Brother Reese Stone, because listen, there's a free will and there's freeing the will. And where you got to free the will from? These programs, the egotistical mind. And we can get on here and talk, but there's some other influences when we not on here that we got to cope with. And so I'm very grateful for coming into the knowledge that allow us to get real so that we can have this experience.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I can't even smoke with you on the show, man. I got to be all the way focused. So
well, let me smoke with you. Let me fire something up so we can do it together and be
jacked up. You all the way serious. Not a lot of people that activate my mind where I got to take my 100% serious. Now I got to, like you said, you bring out the tea, go and get you some wine now, sit back and relax. We got the young bull in the building, you know what I'm saying, from New York. What's good? What's good with your vibes?
Peace, God. I just want to say it's good to be back, man. I know it's been a while since I've been on the show again, so I like to appreciate you for bringing me back on again.
Man, you know, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Now talking that screen is looking mighty bright. The background. Oh, I can't hear you anymore. No, it's perfect. It's beautiful.
Oh, it's perfect.
Never
okay.
too bright,
It's
man. You can't stop
cosmic.
the shine. you know. Yeah, so I just wanted to appreciate you for that one. And I wanted to, it's funny about the fourth dimension and three dimension. That's why I really wanted to speak about lucid dreaming, simply for the fact that when I was younger, because I only talk about experiences, when I was younger, I always had this like I always had sleep paralysis, which is crazy. But there's one time where the sleep paralysis, like my eyes was always closed and I was able to walk. I don't know how that happened, but it was intense. So I always wondered why I was like that. And I kind of grew out of it after a while, but there was always this one time where I'm jumping dreams. But I remember this one dream that was like very vivid. I always had it all the time. And what happened was it was this. Me and my father, I would be in the back seat, and then we'll go to the gas station, and then he'll leave to pump gas. And as soon as he's pumping gas, as soon as he leaves the car, there's like something comes out the back seat trying to grab me, thinking it's like some demonic thing. And every time I wake up in like cold sweats or just like stressed out. So then this happened like numerous of times on a constant basis. So then when I realized to myself, I'm like, hold on, this is just a dream. So now that I realize what's reality or what's dream, what's reality, I was like this. I was like, if I know this is a dream, I can actually like see if I can create something. And the reason why I realized I could create something is because again, if you ever see me on a show before, I always talk about anime or TV shows. Movies is a real thing. You're not really supposed to watch movies for entertainment. You're supposed to actually get it for the message. So the movie that really got me into like lucid dreaming or like I can actually control my dreams was like Shark Boy and Lava Girl. I don't know if you know that movie, but it was about a guy, it was about a kid that he was actually daydreaming and his daydreams was actually coming into reality and he dreamed about a boy named Shark Boy and a chick named Lava Girl. And then he had a whole adventure. So because I seen that movie, I analyzed it when I was young. Be in mind, I'm like maybe give it like 8 or 9 years old. So it was fascinating about that, but I'll speak about that later. But since I seen that movie, I realized I could potentially control my dreams. And when I got into the dream, it took a while. It wasn't like a 1-2 situation. It was like maybe it took like 3 or 4 times to actually control it. So the fourth time when I was able to fully control the dream, like, oh yes, I'm really in the dream. I turned Super Saiyan. I was like, you know what? It's time to go Goku. Legit. I don't trust me, hands down. And it's crazy. I could remember this to this day. But I turned Super Saiyan. I was like, screaming everything. Turned Super Saiyan, and then the demonic thing just went away. And I promise you, not. I have never had that dream or nightmare whatsoever after that situation. The sleep paralysis has always been happened a while like continued after that though, like not be able like can't be able to wake up or like move. I still try to figure out how that happened or why that happened, but that dream was intense and I never happened it again. So that's what made me want to get into more lucid dreaming aspects of it. And then as I got older, I started getting wiser, started doing a little bit more research, and I found out about truly lucid dreaming and how to go about the steps. So that's just a little rant right there for the intro.
I'll say, no, man, I
For sure.
appreciate it because we were supposed to have this conversation a couple. We were supposed to have this conversation a couple weeks ago, but it didn't
Hmm.
happen. But it happened when it was supposed to happen because Neb's Haka, we talked the other day and he was like, yo, man, I want to talk about the 13 dream tones. And I was like, well, I want to talk about the stones. So, you know what I'm saying? So, yo, Neb Haka, because I really do want to get into this dream thing because we don't, a lot of people don't really tap into their dreams. One thing about it, I watch a lot of shows like Vibes just said, and in House of the Dragon, nobody notices. Everybody that gives revelation, everybody that has a dream or a vision, they don't take them serious. And then when you don't take them serious, something happens. There's always an omen or something of that nature. I used to have several dreams when I was young, and I asked my mom about them, and she said she had those same exact dreams when she was a child. You know what I'm saying? So that led me to believe are some dreams hereditary. But I wanted to ask you, Neptaka, with no further ado, what stones go with each archetype of the 1320, or each archetype?
Which tones?
Which
Which
stones?
tone? It's interesting because the archetype. So there's 20 different archetypes, and the I want to put this in perspective that kind of helps me decipher, decode, and be an architect or a constructor of this holographic universe that I talk about in from my teachings, right? And so the 20 archetypes, I want to put a couple things in perspective because and I want to hit the affirmation to bring you into alignment with an order to what's happening cosmically. So I don't want to just randomly get out here. I want you to be able to not just listen to me and say, "Oh, that was intriguing," what Neb Teharka said. I want you also to be able to follow the synchronic order, which is the underlying power of nature itself. And so now you can have some backup. It's just like, when they told you to do your math in school. Well, where's your backup? Where's your work? And so when you see that, it gives you a higher degree of confidence. So the archetypes are considered solar seals, or what we call 20 dynamic frequencies of light. Now when we look at light, there's static energy, just like the omnipresent, omnipotent mind is static. It has to have something that activates it so that it can have a purpose in another dimension, according to what I was shown. Okay. So with that, the 20 dynamic frequencies of light in this sector of the galaxy we call Velatropa. I'm going to use that term. The key to it is realizing how to access the fifth dimension or the Akasha. Now, a lot of what's happening in the multiplicity of dimensions, the absolute realm, speaks in a way that everything has already happened. All your dreams have already happened. All your past and all your future has already happened from this perspective. And so what you're remembering through your process of remembering, right, you are able to connect with these different aspects, these different alternate realities through a dream state, through, sometimes the physical state can be considered a dream state. And it really adds a spin on it that can show you, okay, I'm in control of this. So it's one thing to say, well, what happens in my dreams? And I say, let me tell you what happens. I can tell you what happens in my dream because I create them. I do something called dream engineering. You see, and this comes from the perspective that I am the source. I am the creator of my own experience. And so I call it a holographic projection of mine, is what the reflection that you see. But so now if you create, it's a lot easier for those that are listening to control your dreams when you create them versus being in the consciousness that, okay, these dreams are happening. What do they mean? And so as you continue to do that on a continual basis, you begin to be able to now engineer your dream state and get intelligence from it in a certain way. Now, the stones are synonymous with the tones. So we look at what is the stone for purpose, right? The first tone of the cosmic tones of creation. Now some people say, well, I don't know what you're talking about, Neb Teharka, when you talk about tones. We're talking about sound. The primordial sound is the rang that created plasma and consciousness, all right? Not the bang. The bang was more of a violent force that gets us in tune with, artificiality. I'm not going to get into that right now. But when we say tones, I want you to know the origin. We're not just talking about them great tunes that Orisha Stone is playing on here. I wanted them to rewind that. I wanted them to replay that. What we're talking about is the primordial tones. And so everything in consciousness from this perspective travels through plasma. So the question is, absolutely, Moon Goddess, the sounds, the tones equal sound frequencies or different variations of vibrations. Or I also want to say the sacred geometry of sound, right? And so now, what is the stone of purpose, right? Now, each person is different depending on what they're looking at. Some people are looking at this from I would say, they're looking at it from astrology standpoint. Okay, so the stone for their sign will be different. So it varies based on what you connect with. But what I say is that there's 13 tones and 13 stones. So what is the stone of purpose? What's the stone that reminds you to focus on your purpose? What's the stone of challenge the challenge is the key to remembrance. What's the stone of servitude? What's the stone of being able to formulate and define? What's the stone that's associated with being able to be radiant and empower yourself, or allow yourself to empower you? All right. What is the stone that keeps you in organic balance? You see, because the strongest state, in my opinion, in the universe is balance.
Oh, sure.
You see, and so we can go. That's just six tones for six tones. But Brother King 113, I would say that it varies based on the perspective that people are coming from. You don't have to take my perspective, because your consciousness is where your consciousness is for a purpose. You see what I'm saying? So your consciousness and my consciousness may not be at the same place in space. However, as we acknowledge that, we able to, through experience, be able to take advantage of that area of consciousness and be able to remember from that space. And now we're able to move forward a different kind of way. Does this make sense what I'm saying?
100%.
You know, and so there's six more tones. The resonant tone deals with attunement and inspiration. The galactic tone deals with modeling and integrity. The solar tone deals with the power of intention. The planetary tone deals with manifestation. The spectral tone deals with liberation and dissolving what's not helping you evolve. So what happens is that you have to find the different stones and crystals and things of that nature that you're able to channel that energy through, that amplifies your experience in that moment. And so what I want to get away from, and what's challenging, is that this is your holographic universe. I don't need you to join my church or my outfit or whatever to be 100% you and where your consciousness is. Because once I get your angle, I'm gonna change my angle, because I'm saying, oh, I didn't see vibes, I didn't see that.
Shit. That's a fact.
Najero, baby, I didn't see that like how you put it, but how you put it, I got to consider that now. You see, and then we have the tone of universalization, and then we have the tone of endurance, and the stone of endurance. So once we get those tones lined up and we line the stones up, we're able to amplify the power of the frequency of sound, the geometry of sound. And this can help you become more magnetic. It can also help you interrupt different vibrations that's not aligned with greater purpose. And so this is how I've been using this particular experience, Brother Ken. 113, and it's been so monumental for me because it's just like customized to me. Customize it to themselves.
I love when you said that you always break that down about we create our own reality and create our own outcomes. So that's the real thing. Just like Vibe said, we can get inside our dreams and move around a little bit, like the Matrix. Nadruda, man, you want to pronounce the name for me? Omek baby, what's good? What's good?
Rahul back.
What you got? Hey man, this brother right here is always breaking down astral travel. He breaks down different realities and things of that nature as well. And I think this is all one and the same, because the same way we talk about meditation or daydreaming, because meditation is the same as daydreaming, I would suppose, or is it? Is focus and meditation the same thing? Teharka, you on mute, guy?
Yeah.
I would say that meditation is the opposite of thinking. So I would say no. There's two sides of this coin: focus and allowing. All right. So focus is the electric side, the male. Allowing is the female side, attraction, the power of magnetism. Now we all have 23 chromosomes dedicated to the power of magnetism and 23 chromosomes dedicated to electric. And part of our mastery of the seven centers, the seven chakras, and the human avatar is to bring balance in the two. It's not to dominate physically something outside the body, you see what I'm saying, or someone outside the body. It's designed for you to do it within yourself and project that experience in this in this reality. So I would say they're not the same.
I shall say. Uh, Big dog. Now, how do you feel about that same question? Break down from your perspective, because like I say, Bob was talking about lucid dreaming, and this brother's talking about the hollow mind perceiver. What do you have on that, Chief?
Yeah, so it's everything is pretty much holographic. It is a holographic universe. We are all inside of all. You know, nothing is outside of all. And if you think anything is outside of all, what would you get it from? You know, or where would you put it if everything is already all? So it's pretty much the universal God mind, you know, and this is what makes you made in the image and likeness of what's called the creators. When you go back to the Genesis story and it's telling you that let us make man in our image. Well, it's not actually talking about your physical aspect. You know, it plays a role in it. It's your meat suit, you know, which would be pretty much your rover, and your mind is actually pretty much like a radio. It's a transmitter. It's a switchboard where you're able to be in contact with in the physical as well as receive messages from on the spiritual or mental plane, which would be the etheric plane. So um that goes back to exactly how you learn how to use the mind. You can either be a slave mind, a student mind, or you can be a God mind, you know. So pretty much nature always existed. That's the uh what you call the source of everything that always existed from the beginning with no ending. So, you know, and when it comes to our existence, we actually exist on multiple planes. You know, everything you see in the physical plane is actually in reality a duplicate. The spirit on the spiritual side, you have spiritual duplicates. So everything you see is pretty much what's on the inside, going back to the mind once again, you know. And pretty much when it comes to the Akashic, it's all about going back to the vibrations, like Brother Neb said. You know, it's tones, chants, and frequencies that'll give you access to this infinite knowledge because everything is already within us already. The books that we pick up and we read from, it's to enhance our memory, so that we can recall what's greatness already that we're actually born with. So it's not like we come here and we don't know anything at all. It's about remembering. It's the game of the gods. You know, it's pretty much let's put them there, wipe out their memory, and let's see how great they become, and see if they're going to make their way back home. Which it is not looking for anybody coming from the sky. It's actually connecting with that divine spark that God sourced within you. So when it comes to the mind, it's about uniting. This is what Brother Neb said about atonement, because we're all trying to reach at one ism. You know, you have the pineal gland, which is the male principle of the brain, and you have the pituitary gland, which is the female master principle. So it's all about uniting and using those things and using techniques that'll help you access the logic and the creative aspect of the mind. So you do this by different types of work, for as if you're doing, like he said, mathematics. We as males, we are logical. We know we like to get solve things. We solve shit pretty much. And the females, they are creative. They like to sit back and they look at the whole picture. We'll go in there and destroy that shit and build it better. But they'll take bits and pieces off of it and revamp it. So it's all about putting both of those minds together and uniting as one. So
Oh,
that's
shit.
my
Yeah. Also, I want to talk about it as well, because say if people we talk about this, people don't believe it. The reason why I also mentioned lucid dreaming is because if you try to practice it, or if you do practice it, then you have to think about, is my body just me, or do I really have a spirit? Because when you start lucid dreaming, for you to even get into that aspect, you have to close your mind and basically not think, like get into a meditation state. And then once you start doing it, you start feeling things on your body start crawling. You're not supposed to move because your body's supposed to, you're supposed to believe, I mean, your body's supposed to make believe that your body's asleep, or your mind is supposed to believe that your body is asleep, because your mind is always active. So once your mind tells that the body is asleep, then you actually start lifting it and levitating. And then once you start levitating and then you still continue going with it, you hear like a pop noise, and then you actually get into like the whole spiritual realm and start able to actually travel. And then that right there, if you even get to the far where, if you even get to the part where you're levitating or you feel that you're lifting off, then you gotta feel it's just like, wow, like what, we really have some power. And then also did I looked up some studies. uh when you actually dream, like say if you have like a project you have to do or something like that, um it was done a study where if you dream about that project the next day, you actually have better answers or better research and knowledge of what you're going to be able to do. But if you just dream and just dream, then you're not going to have that type of success. So if you actually go to sleep and think about there's something that you have to do, and you actually comes to your dreams, I guarantee you're going to have the answer the next day with like a question.
I like when brother was talking about remembering. My favorite part what he said was when he said this is the game of the gods, and something is going on where we go through this constant amnesia. Even when your dreams, you can go to sleep and have the most amazing prolific dream, and then wake up and remember a little bit of nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So before we go too far, I want to throw something out there. Azurite. Azurite helps you remember your past lives and everything else, past life recall. It also helps you tap in with your ancestors and things of that nature of different realms, not just ancestors in the so-called human flesh, but also your ancestors in other kingdoms. I don't like the word universes, but I still believe in other universes as well. Red Jasper. Red Jasper helps with memory recall. So when you're having these dreams and stuff like that, keep some red jasper on you, and then when you wake up, write that dream down. That's what you know what I'm saying. Because a lot of us, like you just said, God, your brain is always active. You always got some kind of good thought passing through, but we're not acting on it because so much going on, we forget it just as fast as it comes. So red jasper is good for that. Lapis lazuli is another stone with connection to the higher ethers. Just like azurite, lapis lazuli is what they call the stone of heaven or the stone of the higher ethers. And amethyst for right now for the third eye and crown chakra. A lot of times when we go into these dream world, we're trying to look with these eyes, but the whole time we need to look at this with this eye right here. That's the powerful eye right there. You know what I'm saying? But Teharka, we young polywog, we talk to the Jedi. What do you have on when the brother said he said some amazing about dreams and memories and things of that nature? What do you have on the memory, and why is it so hard to remember dreams?
It's not hard to remember dreams. It's just that we've created a barrier. It's interesting. You know what the biggest dream you've had is? It's becoming human. So you have to already see yourself as an etheric spiritual being. You already have to see yourself as the delight, the electrical light being that communicates with the suns and the star Sirius and all this kind of stuff. Before you came into the physical body. So if you look at it as there's karma that you need to clear up, or you look at it from the perspective that, hey, I want to create a body because I'm tired of just me snapping my fingers and everything happening. I'm bored. I just want you to look at that perspective. And then now you come into your physical body and you created a physical barrier between you and the God you are. And it's for you to remember that it's all in your heart. The intuition speaks in your heart. Now, why is this important? Because when your heart and your mind align, then you access this thing I call cosmic memory. Now, I've heard a lot of different things, and I've heard things like we have over 100 million years of memory stored in our brain. Has anybody ever heard that? Can you imagine? Vibes, did you heard that? What have you
I
heard?
heard about you. You have like 1,000 thoughts per second, so I could believe that as well.
That's amazing. Now, family, listen to this. Now, this is where I challenge myself to go beyond where I am, because if we have over 100 million years of memory and consciousness moves faster than the speed of light, it's just a matter of training and practicing to remember where we were when we were in the ethers and as the electrical light body. And as we remember that, everything we can tap into that through our imagination, we can create that experience on the physical plane. That's what makes the physical body a gem. But we've been looking at it at the wrong perspective. We're looking at it, what's happening to us in the physical realm. I've been shown to look at it as I'm happening to the physical realm, not the physical realm happening to me. And so with that being the case, talking about memory, think about this. We're probably, because of AI, this is a distraction, we're probably not even using 1,000,000 of the 100 million years of memory, if that's the calculation. So you mean to tell me, as sharp as we are, myself, all right, Najaru Baby, Vibes, Orisha Stones, and everybody on here with all their gifts, you telling me that we're not using 1 million, we're only using 1/1,000,000th of our potential? So see, that's very humbling. That makes me say, wait a second. I need to master this physical experience. That's showing me that I am God in this body. But a lot of times, if you don't have primal trust, like if you don't trust people, then you don't trust the God in you. So now you got to work on that. It ain't a judgment. It's like, okay, people are always doing me wrong. Well, how did you do yourself wrong? And then you'll dream about it. And then you say, well, somebody interpret my dream. Well, where is your consciousness? In the first place, not the second place or the third. Where is your consciousness? Are you seeing yourself as an orchestrator of this conduit that creates dreams and thoughts? Or we call them anophs, thought forms. Some are primitive, some are more modern anophs. But when we get into this, how do we engineer this? So I do a class and a workshop on dream recall, dream engineering, as well as, and so when you talk about dream engineering, we're in a great place. And then dream interpretation. So I don't want to interpret. Let me just tell you where my head is. I don't want to interpret something that's random, something that's happenstance, something that somebody placed a subliminal thought in my mind, or they did a auto suggestion in my mind from a program, and then now I'm gonna interpret that. I want my mind, if what I'm saying is true with this memory, to override that suggestion and me create a creation, and I want to interpret that and show other people how to interpret it and create it for themselves. That's what we're remembering, Orisha Stone. That's what we're remembering, Vibes. And so when we remember that, how powerful we are we? We're masters of the cosmos now, so we don't have to worry about the influences of this world. What, the world is going to influence the cosmos? Or is the cosmos going to influence the world? So the cosmos is an aspect of our mind. And that the further we get into that, the more we're able to influence the physical world. Ashe? Did I answer your question? Did I answer your question?
No, I wanted to keep going because you said something amazing. You said, I don't want to be subjective to subliminal thoughts. And that was amazing, because we talk about dreams, and that's the real like, I ain't gonna say television, but that's the real vision, right? But then when they put this the television, the lives and the programming, when people sleep right beside their phones, we don't understand how frequency really works. I don't think a lot of us do, because frequency is designed to shield us off from our dreams. I remember living in the city, and they got so much technology out, you can't see the stars. And I don't think that's by a coincidence. I think it's by design, that it can disconnect us from the stars, can disconnect us from nature, disconnect us from the real reality itself. We know that every time we go to sleep, we go to the other realm. We know that other realm, when you die, that's the great sleep. So death is way longer than life, or maybe it's balanced. Maybe it is balanced. But I like what you said about subliminal thoughts. I want to go deeper into that, about how can we block distractions, aka subliminal thoughts.
Well, subliminal means below the threshold. It is actually where you conventional programming that the physical body has had. See, from this perspective that I'm talking about, we have to assume that the programs or the technology or the mechanical world has made us depend on it in a way, right? That's made us subjugated to the limitations of the physical body. So we find something that appears to be easier, an artificial way. Now, once we get comfortable with limitations to the physical body, we become limited by the physical body. So we'll say, oh man, I got this bill to pay, or I got these repairs I got to go in my house. And it's like $100,000, let's say. Oh, I don't have $100,000. So now you got to go ask somebody for a loan. You got to ask somebody for these things. But is there $100,000 available? Yes. But we're the machine world, the digital world has got us putting our thoughts together in a way that says, oh, well, you can get it this way and we'll approve you. Like it's easier. But it's probably just as easy, or I've had some experiences where it has been even easier, where you just come into some opportunities that produce the money faster than they can approve the loan. So now instead of being in debt, right, you on purpose and in a surplus in a whole nother way, because the actual surplus, your frequency is the currency. So I said all of that to say this: these subliminal messages, that there's a mental sphere that we talk about in the Hollow Mind Perceiver called the sixth mental sphere. And it's subliminal consciousness. And it's where we can communicate with entities beyond this plane of existence. It helps us to see different aspects of the illusion so that we can reprogram the physical mind in such a way that we have access to the spiritual mind and we have access to the energetic light mind. They're all aspects of the mind. And it's all aspects of the whole mind. So my question had been to myself when I came into this knowledge is, am I operating with my whole mind when I'm about to open up my mouth and say what I'm saying? And if the answer is no, my next question is, how can I? And let me tell you, for your question, dear brother Risha Stone, the question about how do we get past the distractions, you ask the question to yourself. How can you? You're asking me, but ask yourself like you're asking me, and follow the intuitive impulse from your heart, which will tell you, oh, this is how you get distracted, because we get distracted different. Our distractions are different because our consciousness is different and our programs are different. What may distract a Najaru baby may not distract me. You see what I'm saying? And what distracts me may not distract him, but we need to find whatever programs, i.e. distractions, are there, and we need to ask our own self, how do I get past this? And you will get the answer. But a lot of times it doesn't seem convenient. And here's the other thing. You know why? I've done over 1,600 one-on-one coaching sessions in the last 7 years. You know what I found out? Let me tell you what I found out in these coaching sessions. That more than 90% of the people did not initially trust their intuition. Now we get on a session like this, everybody like, I trust it. But overall in your life, do you really trust it? And let me tell you why it's hard to trust your intuition. Now, when I say trust, let me just say this. This will put it in perspective. Trust means you do what your intuition tells you to do. You don't add nothing. You don't take nothing away, and you do it now. Not next week, not next year, not when you're getting ready to get ready. You do it now because it's coming at the speed of consciousness, which is faster than the speed of sound and light. Now, reason why it's hard to do, because when you get in a jam and you're asking yourself to give you an answer, and it gives you an answer, it don't seem like it's the right answer, because watch this. The answer is coming from a higher level of consciousness spiritually than what you operating on. And so it's hard to receive because it's going to make you uncomfortable. Why would I take that route? I think I'm going to just do what's comfortable. I think I'm going to just do what I always do because eventually I get there. But the intuition is speaking to you at a higher frequency. a greater state of consciousness than what you're used to operating at. And therefore, now you can elevate a whole different way when you complete the instructions. So that's what I would say.
I see. How about you, old man?
So, just like Brother Ned said, you want to begin all thoughts before you even blurt it out. This is even when you're dealing with your mate or you're on a business call, whatever it may be. You begin your thoughts with the minds and heart of all, because you are in control of your reality, right? You control what goes on within you and what you put in your body, but you can't control things that's around you. So everyone has their own will. This is the who energy, which everyone was pretty much blessed to be given by this universal consciousness. So you control your wants. When you control your wants, this will lower the effects of the pain and suffering that will be bestowed on you. Just like he was saying, you if you get too many multiple things and then you come up with something where something needs to be repaired. This whole life thing is not to be here and be like a bum or homeless. You're here to actually experience, because you've been here multiple of times. This is not your first rodeo. The universe is billions of years old. There's no way that you have been just incarnated right now. You just chose this time to actually incarnate. So when we're talking about the memory and remembering dreams, it's all about getting access to your DNA, decoding, and ordinate encoding. So we actually descended here. We didn't poof, and we came here. We are Etherians. We already was here. We was above, and we was living through the ancient Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Olmecs, which is the Nubians. They still ancient Egyptians. We lived through their blood before we even incarnated. We're actually them incarnated ourselves. This is why we have this greatness already within ourselves. So we was taught by these different uh, religions and everything like that to go outside of ourselves. We was reading it as, taking it for what it is, instead of actually pulling the essence of the spiritual aspect of it, of what they was trying to get us to comprehend. This is why, and pretty much they flipped the script and gave it to us how we gave it to them. And in reality, we was trying to keep the secrets from them. That's why we gave them the 3 degrees: Christianism, Mohammedanism, and Judaism. So the thoughts are pretty much pouring from the mental plane, in which the Etherians are in control of what information you gain access to. It's all about making the journey home and being welcomed back into the ancients. Not saying that you're not already a part of the bloodline, but it's the aspect of all the years, this past 6,000 years, we was calling on other than self and kind. We was calling on Jesus, Allah, Yahweh, Jehovah. None of those is what we come from. These are, again, going back to the mind, fables of another race, whether it be Greeks, Romans, whatever it may be. It's a part of their mind. You have the ability to actually think on a higher vibration than they can ever reach. This is you're not ether being. You're an Ethereum. You have access to all of the knowledge throughout the whole entire universe, in which they are limited. So, and when it comes, um everything already pretty much happened already in the mind of all. We are just going by second, minute by minute, playing the role of Orisha Stone. But if you merge back with that universal consciousness, you realize, oh shit, This shit already happened already. This is fucking deja vu. I'm not even here no more. I'm above watching this shit play out on the big screen on the TV. So we we're really not here. You remove the distraction by limiting the access because energy is everywhere. Whatever energy you're around, if it's a handshake, right? The handshake, you're connecting an etheric cord to that person. All the shit that they was thinking about that day, they might have had bad experiences with their wife or anything, bad work day. You done dap them up whole time. You done connected a cord with them. Now you get in your car and then you pissed off about the driver in front of you doing some dumbass shit. And you weren't like that at first. You know what I'm saying? It's all about knowing what to do. That's why we fist pump. We ain't just used to go and shake hands and hugs people because we knew these sciences to the things. So there's actually a force called the resistance force that's literally it's gonna always be obstacles. It's gonna be always distraction because the point of this is to keep you from reaching your full potential and making that journey within yourself. So these distractions are going to be here because there's a resistance force that's pretty much trying to see if you're going to overcome what's in front of you. Or you're going to keep on jumping these hurdles so you can reach the finish line. Right? So, and it's really only one mind, right? What makes everything different is our spiritual expressions of ourselves. The spiritual aspect of us is what makes us think differently. Other than that, if we reach the state of atonement at one ism, everyone will be liberated with one mind, one body, one soul, because this is one mind, one body, one soul, one flesh. That's what it is. But until we get that aspect, because they pretty much uh divide and conquer, use that tactic to keep us from liberating ourselves. Once we realize that and we get over that same hurdle of resistance force, then we're gonna start seeing mountains and shit move. We're gonna start seeing us being able to pick up those big ass stone blocks using levitation and telekinesis to build pyramids and be in our God state again. You know, we have these capabilities. We don't need nobody to tell us who we are. They can the shit that they got going on don't got shit to do with us. And we keep our minds and our head and ass and elbows going. Donald Trump told what I don't give a fuck. They ain't got shit to do with us. Let's keep building on our land. Let's liberate. We got doctors, we got lawyers, we got people who was in the army. Okay, what's the next step? Let's get this ball rolling. This is where we get with it. You know,
Okay.
but that's my perspective.
I'm glad you brought up about telekinesis and telepathy. Before we get on there, vibes, how did you feel about that? Because he brought up a good subject. Before I switch topics, I want to get your opinion on that.
Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of subjects, to be honest with you. But the telekinesis, yeah, 100%, that's true. A couple years back, I forgot his name, but there was like, years back, there was like a scientist that was actually able to do telekinesis when he was in it was like I guess Egypt. I'm not too sure, but he was doing telekinesis. I forgot his name, and they did a study on him. And yeah, so it's really true. It's actually 100% true about the telekinesis with the mind and body. With distractions, honestly, the television is definitely a distraction. If you want to remove that, I would just say stop watching television because even commercials, that's play like legit programming you to do whatever. And even if you don't watch it, you're listening it, your subconscious is still bringing it in. So if you are, and then like you mentioned before, if you do have your TV on or like during when you're sleeping, stuff like that, it does mess up with the REM state. But try to do it in a positive way, as in like go on YouTube, listen to like a podcast like this, some music like tones like frequencies like 3.84 or something, or 4 point, I forgot, but different frequencies will help you vibrate higher, so when you do get into that REM state you can actually get more dreams or just feel better about yourself. And then another way, wow, there's a lot of talk, you guys talked a lot, so I had points, I just didn't want to jump in to study or to train your dreams or to remember your dreams, it's like riding a bicycle. You legit have to, like, it's like a muscle memory. You have to write it down. Like you have to like wake up or just like the first thing in your mind, just write something, like write what you had. It's like taking an acid trip or a mushroom trip. You're not gonna like on that whole trip, you're not gonna remember everything. But if as soon as you're about to come down, you start writing things down, you're gonna actually read it and understand. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, the tonality, and like I said before, English is that tone. So if you do speak tone languages, like different languages in like like Africa or Western Egypt or something like that, whatever, you would actually definitely your brain actually develops even better. With English, your brain doesn't really get into that type of brain state because we don't practice it. Because again, it's like a muscle. If we don't use it, we lose it.
Yo, that's man. I keep on bringing it up, man. I know nobody on the show watch House of the Dragon, but the melanated dude, all the black people are actually dragon trainers, right? And they speak an ancient language called High Valerian. Like you said, if you don't use it, you lose it. Sometimes we don't use them tongues, we lose it. Going back to you talking about the English, and when he spoke this language, it was the ancient language of dragons. You know what I'm saying? People are just going over their head, but when that black man spoke that ancient Valerian tone, you know,
Hmm.
you can tap into different frequencies. Brother Neb Taka, real quick question. Before we get on the subconscious, I wanted to ask you, how does telepathy work? How does telepathy work? You on mute, God?
Telepathy is a. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Telepathy is a field of consciousness, and like I love how everything is being broken down, especially when we're talking about the brain. The brain is an instrument that processes consciousness. The brain and the mind are different. So again, when we're in certain programs, we begin to think that the brain and the mind are one thing, and they're connected, but they're not. They're different frequencies with the and roles. The brain, as we build the neurological activity, the neural net of it, and do that through brain balancing and meditation and things of that nature, we're able to create a stronger circuit to process consciousness. You see, and so the consciousness is everything is consciousness. And so, how does consciousness travel? I like to break this down like this because sometimes we just say things, and when we don't know how it cascades, how it works, when we get off of here, it's like, wait a minute. So how could that work for me? You know what I mean? And so when we realize, wait a second, the man, the consciousness is the software, the brain is the hardware, and it's processing these different signals. It's like a radio antenna. This brain is, on the earth. The reason why that's important is because the consciousness, right, is what's going to give us access to the memory and the awareness. The first is going to be the awareness that we can even do it, right? The awareness that we can even tap into memory. Now, say your question one more time. Say your question one more time. What it was, because it was something specific I wanted to say, but it was exactly verbatim what you said the
Oh,
question was.
to break down telepathy for us.
Telepathy.
Yes,
So
sir.
yeah. So the reason why I had to break down consciousness to break down telepathy, because it's an aspect of consciousness. It's available to everybody. It's not nobody on here has a special medium of consciousness that they can access telepathy and the other can't. It's a field of consciousness that gives you access to this type of beyond the physical type energy. So when we do this, the language that I'm taught, that I teach from the Hollow Mind Perceiver, the language of telepathy is number. Like before there was even mind, there were number organizing itself and primordial sounds and geometry and things of these natures. And so this is where you see these different patterns that make thoughts into things. You see what I'm saying? And so you get these different aspects of consciousness, planets, multiverses, galaxies, all these different things. So when you see how it all comes into play, that this consciousness is part of this imaginal realm that you can tap into with your brain. And then now, once you become aware of it, you can be the God of your experience and create it right? Now you can tap into telepathy. The same people who are tapped into that medium, you can read their thoughts, and it's mainly when they're open to it's harder. I have found it's harder to be telepathic with somebody who's blocking you or lying. You'll know the lie, but it's just harder. We just did a 6-week course on the telepathic remembrance group. We did remote viewing, we did precognition, we did retrocognition, and we did mind-to-mind telepathy. And so it's a practice like anything else. It's a way to calm your mind down so that you can hear from your subconscious. Your subconscious knows, the collective subconscious knows everything that's really happening in the consciousness on the planet. And when you tap into that, then you can see with that lens and be more telepathic because you're plugged in. That's how you do it, really. It's not a special gift. It's just some people are further along in their consciousness in that area than others. But once you become aware of it, you can build your own pace of it.
Speaking
You
of
see what I'm
that,
saying?
you're 100%
Go ahead.
right. I actually have I was in a Facebook group of like spiritual conscious people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to this one guy. He was like sick, but he was really on point. So me and him, we used to have phone calls, and then we was to like have like not meditation, but like trying to like like mind like see what you see and I see what I could see. And I was just sitting and he'd be like, yo, I could see this and this. I'm like, yo, how is that possible when you're all there's no FaceTime, it's me in the conversation. He's able to see what I see through like the trees and everything like that. So it's really true where you could actually get in tune like that.
I shall say. I'm glad you brought that up because sometimes you ever thought about somebody, and as soon as you think about somebody you're connected with, and as soon as you think about them,
They call. Yep.
think about you, man. You must, you know what I'm saying? So this happens a lot. Like with Neb Tahaka, with Goddess Mayad, vibe, brother Mike. I might just think about somebody and they'll hit me up on the phone. I'm like, man, I was just thinking about you. That's connection. And like the brother said, when you don't block it or lie and other things like that, you can connect way easier. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
We're about to have a little commercial break. Goddess Moot has a couple announcements to do, I believe. So while we're waiting on that, but when we do, after we do that, can you mute your mic for me, Neb? Thank you. It was a little buzzing sound. I'll be gonna fix that. But while we're waiting for Goddess Moot to run the commercials, we could start thinking about plant medicine. The reason I want to talk about plant medicine is because you said it's not something special, but that's where I kind of disagree because everybody doesn't have a third eye. Everybody doesn't have the ability to go into these different realms and move around. Like when you go into the overmind, if you sit up out in the sun, right? And you sit in the sun and you put an amethyst on your third eye and let that sun translate light through the amethyst, through your third eye, into your overmind, you can pretty much run your own spaceship. It's almost like running his own spaceship. So it is kind of special for melanated people because we the ones that have the highest melanin, which can help us go through different dimensions and realms, and our third eyes, which I don't think a lot of people have pineal glands. So how do y'all feel about plant medicine?
Yeah, you need it. Plants is like that's herbs. That's the natural thing. That's the first way we started from, right? And then you're right about the pineal glands too. They've definitely been getting like decalcified because of what we eating and everything like that. So, yeah,
Yeah, I have a little different perspective on it. I see it as a supplement. Anything outside of you, I see as a supplement, and I try to start from the three bodies. The physical body temple is controlled by the focus will. This the etheric aspect of our being is the spirit. It speaks through intuition to the will, and then the electrical part of us that's housed by the chakras. Okay, it is now has the energy thought in this sense in that dimension is electrical lines of force. So it's just moving things around energetically and creating visions and things of that nature. So when we start from that, now when we only start from the physical, the limited physical, and we say I'm going to take a supplement or I'm going to take a plant medicine, all right, and so now we're only using one dimension of ourselves to aspect of it. So we're very limited. But if we start out with the physical, the spiritual, and the energetic, and then we do it, it's going to take you into a place in space that you can't even think about right now. You can't fathom it. That's what happened with me. One time, I haven't done the plant medicine like that, but just me going into the time travel that I've been shown, the way I've been shown it, took me 1,000,000 years in the past. It blew my mind. I said, "Oh man, I can't even talk to nobody about this. How did it do that?" Now, imagine if I supplemented it with plant medicine. Because everything's, I look at this from my perspective. I see everything is powerful. Stones are powerful, herbs are powerful, crystals are powerful, but I am is the ultimate base of everything, and everything supplements that is how I look at it. So that means nobody can ever manipulate me or take control over my mind, making the supplement the main dish or the main aspect of it. And now I'm just kind of, I can't survive without that.
We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. But
Okay,
one thing,
go ahead.
before we get into it, we're gonna let Goddess Moot do it. But like I said, I didn't say let somebody control you with it. The reason I brought up mushrooms is because we were talking about a mycelium network. That network is the mind. Now, if you said you've never done it before, you can't say that, oh, it's gonna go this way, especially if you haven't done it before. But when you like where your mind is right now, we need to start tapping into the mycelium network. But we're gonna go ahead and let my Goddess Moot do her thing real quick. You on mute, Goddess.
I know, right? Peace and wholeness, everybody. Welcome to the Orisha Stone and Chief Talk session. We got some amazing conversations going on, right? This is a whole new perspective. So it's not new to most, but it's new to some. So thank y'all for showing up. I'm Priestess Moot, Mayat Nefer Habibullah. And yeah, we got some good goods. We're here talking about the 13 dream tones and stones. So we want y'all to note here, all right? With our melanated immortals making evolutionary changes, we have some Orisha stones on sale. And trust me, we just got a new batch in. And we already got some sold, so y'all need to make sure you take a visit at melanatedimmortals.com right here, right now. Well, no, not right now, because I know y'all don't want to miss out on what's going on here. But if you got any questions, any concerns, get to that meta shop right now for these new selections. There's only a few left from us getting everything going and started. But we got some amazing, fabulous products right now in the site. So go to melanatedimmortals.com, click on Meta Shop. Melanated Immortals also has some other areas where you can come and continue to evolve. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up. And once that's done, we're going to get back to the session. Ashe.
Awake, I am today, daily acknowledges the act of God empowering me to breathe. Alive I am today represents more time to live, move, and have my being. Amazing I am shows the wonders of light shining on my face. Healed from afflictions, distractions, and manipulations of this world. Strong I am today as the sun shines, wind blows and rain falls, reminding me to stand each test time. Wise as I am today to see the truth at face value and walk
confidence, knowing. Mike again, Mike again, Mike again. Ashe, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let's go ahead and bring everybody up to the stage so we can continue with the conversations. If y'all have any questions, check that banner that's going across and click on email, find out at Melanated Immortals, or just visit the website and explore. Like and subscribe and share. Ashe, and Ashe.
I say, thank you, guys. Big shout out to Melanated Immortals. We're gonna have an amazing show tomorrow with goddess, with a bunch of goddesses actually, but it's gonna be a surprise. It's gonna be a pleasant surprise, man. Tap in tomorrow for sure with us. Also, Melanated Immortals just did a show tonight, so make sure you tap in with them because they always got positive information out for you. Yeah, let's get back to it, man. We were talking about plant medicine, and I was like, yo, we can't sleep on the power tools that our ancestors always used. Like especially when we talking about beans and all these different years. Well, back then, before they had a Wi-Fi or an AI, they had mushrooms. And they most
Yeah.
definitely tap into all sorts of different things, DMT and things of that nature. Just to say that, for lack of a better word, they got way more things out there than just mushrooms. They got Africa raw. They got all sorts of different herbs, and different things that we plant medicines that was prescribed not by a doctor, but prescribed by the universe itself. The universe made those plants the same way they made us, and they made us activate together. Now, in doing so, we can see the future. We talking about dreams. But dreams is a slick way of seeing the future or different kind of outcomes, and you can see different things of that nature. So that's why I was into it. Oh man, baby, how you feel about that?
So I actually want to back. I'm gonna get back to that point. I'm gonna back it up some to what we was originally talking about, and I'm gonna lead up to the medicine part and how it ties in. Okay, so we was talking about telepathy, right? Well, the breakdown of it is basically to tell a patahite. So we are pretty much patahites, or it was really two tribes that from the last replenishment of the earth, which is the Watusi, and you had the Pygmy tribes. These are the two tribes that mixed in together. So in order for you to actually, the process of using telepathy works by accessing the mental reservoir. So the mind and the uh the mind and the mental plane, or the mind and the brain, for example, are two different entities, like Nayab said. But they you have to learn how to work both of them by simultaneously. So in order for you to be able to do or use telepathy, it goes back to the aspect of Nimrod, who is really Sargon. Well, if you want to go through the biblical, but far as and who he was with Sargon, Babylonian text. This is why they changed their language. The language is key, and that's when the quote unquote gods had to come down, and they said, "Behold, the people have become one. Nothing will stop them from being able to do the things that they pretty much wanted to take care of. We can't do these or enhance these type of abilities by using the English language because it's dead. It's a bastard. It's a spell language of itself. So this is why we must learn our roots, not only just speak about them, but actually put it into day to day, living. And we learned how to actually learn our original tongue and our original language. This will give us the abilities to access higher levels of mental wavelengths. This is how we get past the Dragonian reptilians. This is how we get past these six ether forces, from being able to control the mind, because they have the ability by us speaking this language. And if you have not fully broken the spell, they can actually send thought waves to your mind and actually control you. This is why you have people doing crazy shit like going out on killing sprees and stuff. It's because they can control that aspect by you using the English language. Okay. And also, uh, the subconscious is the all-knowing mind. Going back to what Vibe said, that's the mind that doesn't actually sleep at all. This is your the medium for you to access the spiritual side. This is the side that your conscious travels to as you lay and get your rest, and then you're able to astral project, using your astral or your astral body to actually go through and roam the different planes. Like I say, everything is a spiritual duplicate. So this is why when you have dreams, or what people call what's the name of the one? Anyway, the dreams. This is how you're able to um, go to different planes. So you have to set intentions before you actually go to bed, so
Oh
that you'll
shit.
be able to go exactly where you want to go. And this is how you take control of it, by setting your intentions and tying back in to with the plant medicine. There's reishi mushrooms. These mushrooms go back millions of years. Our ancestors used it. This is what gives you, actually enhance your mind. It clears up your thinking pattern. Actually, also giving you longevity and giving you the. This is why they live 300, 400, 500 years. It's not because we can't do that to this day. It's the type of things we're putting in our body today that is stopping us from able to be living to that age bracket. And they use different supplements like reishi mushrooms to actually get those abilities. So the medicine itself, when it comes to different herbs, even people who use marijuana, it's put here for a reason. It's the fact that we started abusing these things, what caused the harm to our mind. But by us using it for as medicinal purposes, it's not nothing wrong with doing that in itself. Because these different herbs, you got you have yucca root, burdock root. All of these are put here to remove these parasites from your body. When you
Correct.
remove these parasites from your body, that actually clears your mind and actually give you the abilities to actually think like a god and not think like a mortal. So this what gives you the ability to use the full powers of the mind and remove any type of blockages that's preventing you from actually being able to think on a higher, you know, level when it comes to where you're heading and what you're trying to do on your spiritual journey.
Yo, Omek, I like what you said when you said have intention when you drink, but like set your intentions before you go to sleep and dream. Set your intentions before you do that plant medicine too, because
A
Right.
hundred percent.
that's a real thing, man. Mantras, we got to start getting into mantras, and you can create your own mantra. A mantra is saying programming yourself. If we know that they can subliminally program us with different things that they put out, they're saying it over and over again. That's called a commercial. They call it commercial. We might call it a mantra. And once
Yeah.
you set those intentions, yeah, man, telepathy, telekinesis. When you get on those shrooms, you'll be surprised what kind of things you can do when you're tapping into the God mind and the
Yeah.
God. You know what I'm saying? When you tap into that mycelium network. Bob, how you feel about that, God?
No, you're 100% true. Dandelion flowers or extract, red clovers, herbs like that definitely helps. Neb, I think the perception is like you made it like, well, from what my perspective of it is, you don't mind it, you just don't want it to be like the basis of the foundation, which is understandable because like the other God said, once you start abusing it, that's the problem. Um And like I said, shrooms and mushrooms, things like that's been there since like before ancient times. They've been using that to most likely even come up with ideas of building pyramids or even opening up to, ways to again access to telekinesis. Shrooms, honestly, from my experience, it made me more awake and more woke to like even like adapt to new things. I will see something different, and then it makes me understand more. But you have to, yeah, 100%, you have to set intentions with it. Even when if I roll up weed and things like that, I don't say it out loud, which I should, but in my mind, I'm always saying like, thank you for the weed, bless it, things like that. Because even drinking water, eating food, you gotta bless the food. Back in the day when my like routine was like if the food was steaming, I let it just I don't even blow it. I just let the steam go for let the ancestors eat. You know what I'm saying? Things like that, like small little things like this, acknowledging it. But again, if you do abuse, if you do it out of negative, then negative does come. But herbs is definitely one of the things that will definitely help and heal and prosper the body even more. For real, for real.
I'm glad you said that, Chief, because we're gonna round like Omek baby said, we're gonna back a little bit. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, we were talking about memory recall, and things of that nature, and then we start talking about programming and all these different things. Well, water is the largest record keeper. It has the biggest memory. There's nothing older than water. There's no new water on the earth. I guarantee
Hmm.
you. The same water that was here, is here now, was here way back in the day, and it just started cycling. So we tap into that water and program the water. How do we program the water? Like Bob said, you talk to the water the same way you talk to your smoke, the same way you talk to all these different things. Now let's mix it up with that water. And you already said a couple of them when you saying them teas. So you kind of jumped the gun a little bit, Vibes. But when you programming your water, aka making teas, what teas do you think would help with memory recall and getting you in that right frame of mind? Vibes, you already said Reishi mushroom, that was amazing. You already said red clover, that was amazing. Neb Teharka, what you sipping on, man? How you
I'm
programming the
sitting on
water?
some burdock root, and I speak to it. And let me say something. Let me just be clear. I want to be clear about the shrooms. I want to be clear about everything. That I'm just saying, use it as a supplement. That you are the base. The God self is the base of it for the reasons that everybody was saying about the misuse. And so when you use it as a supplement. Now, when it turns into now, let me just share this too, that I found this to be interesting. The program, so I deal a lot with the artificial frequency from mechanical time and natural time, cosmic cycles. The artificial frequency, I'm gonna tie this into the T and everything. The artificial frequency is something that we're immersed in, even though we're talking right now. So it creates resistance, right, in our day-to-day experience. And so with that, the artificial frequency, one of the big programs, first is scarcity. I like to talk about that one first. I'm not saying it's the first one, where you don't think it's enough resources and you're abundant within yourself. So that's the first illusion that can have us start thinking off kill. The second one is consumerism. And you end up consuming versus creating, and you get consumed by your consumptions. Now that could be mushrooms, it can be food, it could be all these type of things. So whatever it is, none of them are bigger than the God that incarnated. You see what I'm saying? The God that incarnated in the physical body is the baseline of it. So when you tap in to shrooms or whatever supplements that can take you into more of a telepathic experience, astral travel, astral projection. It's so much more powerful that I've seen in coaching people going through it. I've experienced it a lot without the supplements. So I can't wait till I do it. Okay, so I'm not speaking against it at all. I'm saying do it, but do it with this trifecta of mind, not that you're already limited and you need that to complete you like you're consuming it, because you'll get consumed by your consumptions. But if you take it like, wow, I'm already this, and I'm going to do this to amplify what I already know I am, and I know at this large level, it's going to even take you further than you ever can imagine. And so with that, with the teas, everything now supplements where your consciousness is. So if your consciousness already, well, my consciousness moves at 299 million kilometers per second. Okay, now supplement that, and it's going to be going 3 and 4 times faster than that. And now you're going to evolve. Watch this evolution. This is truly what unlimited and the infinite mind wave that we talk about in the Olmec cosmology is all about, right? Because you keep evolving evolution because you start seeing a greater version of yourself than you did the last time, this time. So yeah, the teas, I use a lot of different teas. I had a Kin 141, Ya Glenn. She sent me 10 different teas from this lady that grows the teas in Louisiana. And it was amazing. I mean, from burdock to, and some of them I don't know the name of them because the name of the teas were just like labeled loving your liver, kindness to your kidneys, yada, yada, yada. So I didn't fully investigate what was in those teas, but I know when I set the intention before, like you said, okay. And I tell you this is one thing. This only take a second. I used to debate with my father about diet, right? And so my dad eats whatever, and he said, well, he said something real interesting. He listened to what I said, and he said, well, if you bless it before you eat it, it's going to be all right. And so what he was saying was really interesting. He was saying that you are transmuting energy from the food, and you have power and command over the food to do what you wanted to do in your body. I thought that was an evolutionary statement by my pops. You see what I'm saying? And since then, I've used that with everything else to set that intention, whether it's dreams, whether it's food, whether it's drinks and stones, whatever have you. And I've noticed that it's just far more advanced and amplified than it was before I did that. So that's what I wanted to say about the teas, and clarify and make sure that y'all knew I wasn't saying that, this isn't something good to do. It's excellent to do. But if you do it from this mind, it's gonna be a whole other level.
Man, I would love to see you on DMT. I got to get you on some DMT. It's real straight to the point. There's 5 minutes of eternity. You know what I'm saying? You most definitely could tap into all those different rooms, realms, and talk to the different deities, or listen to the deities, because a lot of them don't talk, but they communicate. I know that it's just like the dream world, but more vivid. So yeah,
let's do it.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
tell you this though. Let me tell you this. 5 minutes is listen. It's that's just a perspective. Okay, when you're on DMT, 5 minutes is like hours. You don't know. Time is relative. Just to let you know that.
That's why I
So
said 5 minutes of eternity. No, I'm with you.
Beautiful.
It's been amazing, amazing link. Vibes. You had amazing comments when you talking about lucid dreaming and everything else. Omac baby Omac baby. Tell us, because you changed your name on me so many times, it'd be hard to keep up with your names, G. Break down your name so I know how to pronounce it next time.
Yeah, so it's pronounced Natharu, baby. The J is silent. It's Natharu, baby. That's how you say it in Nuwapi. It's basically Neturu, baby. Like the netters, Neb, just like master. Yeah, that's what it means.
That's
But
hard.
I did want to touch on what you was asking about when you was talking about the waters, though. So basically, I know we're from Park Gary get up out of here, but the water is pretty much is the first aspect of it is what you call noon. It's the cosmic soup in which we all merge from. This is the same substance that's inside of a woman's womb. This is the same waters that we sat in for 9 months before we was birthed into the physical. So from like I say, from which we as deity, because we're not human beings, we are literally God's having an human experience. So just like Neb said, we live eternity, and same thing going back to what Rod say too, you get bored when you up there and you live in this galactic life, you're going from planet to planet, universe to universe, and eventually it gets boring. So you want to do something that's difficult, and we're in a state of trying to remember where we lost something at. We can't put our finger on it, but we're trying to figure it out. So the noon water is what was in the beginning, which extends to the now with no ending. So and that's how it always has been. It's pretty much the potential for life to be able to manifest. And it goes back to separating the waters. Your mind itself sits in water. That goes again, sitting right in the primordial noon, which it uses as electricity to actually be able to think like a god, or pretty much get your thought patterns from the mental reservoir, because like I said, your mind is a switchboard in which you use to actually to be able to reason. And then you got the waters that's below, that's in your stomach, which deals with your emotions, where your solar plexus sits. It still is electrified, so it's about learning how the body works and actually controlling the waters below as well as it is above, and uniting them and controlling the chaos. You're trying to reach the state of endarkment in which your mind sits in triple darkness. So also when it comes to the waters, there is where you have hot showers and you have cold showers. Okay. So the hot showers are used to actually to relax your body. This goes on to the state of trying to reach the oneness before you get ready to, if you're going to take your shroom, flight, DMT, whatever, even when you're finna get ready to hit your marijuana, whatever you're going, whatever you're finna do, you set the intentions. You take your shower, you actually use both. You use the hot to relax your body. Then you immerse yourself under the cold. This heightens your awareness abilities. This heightens you to be able to use your higher senses, intuition, clairvoyancy, telepathy, psychometry, clear audience. This gives you the abilities to actually heighten those abilities that you have within yourself. So it's it goes back to setting intentions. And once you do this will actually give you a better experience instead of you having a bad trip, or you end up reaching and talking to some beings who are actually not even for the good for you and leading you into the wrong direction, because this is what you're doing when you're taking those trips. You're actually you're trying to reach in contact with the spiritual beings on the other side, and you don't want to get involved with the wrong people coming to you saying, oh yeah, we your ancestors, and then running your ass somewhere else, off into the wilderness somewhere. It's to prevent all that. Yeah.
Man, anytime that you're doing something spiritual, it's a ritual. Anytime
Yeah.
you're going in there speaking to any kind of entity, it's a ritual.
Shower
So,
itself as well. Your bath, a
like
ritual.
you
When you
said,
eat, ritual.
like
Set
you just
intention.
said, like you just said. But when you're doing these rituals, you need to have the tools with you. So
Exactly.
certain entities ain't gonna break cosmic tools. This is a Vajra. Look up Vajra. Whenever you're doing your rituals, have your Vajra. Most entities won't pop up. Like most entities don't lie like we think they do. They manipulate, but they don't lie. But when you
Yeah.
have a Vajra, they won't even attempt to manipulate you. So that's something we could tap in. It's called the indestructible diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, though, Vaz, did you have anything else before we get out of here, Chief?
No, other than the water with the telekinesis. You ever seen? Remember the movie Daredevil? And he was blind and everything like that. But once he hit the water with the rain, he started seeing everything. So yeah.
Yeah, now, I like when you just said that about Daredevil, because if you ever look at it in Marvel, especially Marvel, when you look at most black superheroes, they either have electricity or they're time travelers, i.e. Bishop, i.e. Cain the Conqueror, i.e. Apocalypse. All these are time traveling melanated beings. They know, like imagine they know they're in Nebtaka head. They researching everything we do. They watch everything we do. This is something they've been doing since the 60s and probably before then. But they're watching our minds. That's why they do all these experiments on our minds to figure out, man, listen, we got to stop this or we're going to have another Cain the Conqueror on our hands. Nobody looks at Cain the Conqueror and realize they got Cain the Conqueror off the Olmecs or Apocalypse off the Olmec. If you look at those same guy, like they say the first mutant was Apocalypse, who was born in Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Who was born in the Neteru. When you're looking at all these different bishops, he's an energy. I mean, are y'all familiar with Bishop? You don't know Bishop is?
Yeah.
I'm about to say, God, you young.
I got to. If I think,
No, but yeah, most definitely tapping into our X-Men gene. You know what I'm saying? And Nebtaka, do you have anything before we get out here, Chief?
Yeah, I just love this conversation and the different aspects. Man, I love sharing the stage with you brothers and with you guys. And really it's very powerful. Every angle that we brings a holistic, it's a unified energy that allows us to move in unison. So it's like I was talking the last time I was on here about Voltron. that aspect, it separates for a purpose and it unifies for a purpose. But really, even when they separate, they together because they telepathically working together, they just spread out. And so I can see that the energy from this particular session, like we still gonna be connected. I wouldn't be surprised if we had some telepathic experience between us being on here talking about this and saying, yo, when we get back over here the next time, man, listen, I was communicating with them, I was doing this, that, and the other. So, I just want to thank you, dear brother Arisha Stone and Kid 113 Vibes and Najaru. Did I say it right? Nataru.
No, it's Natharu.
Natharu. That was it. I knew it because I was trying Natharu, baby. And I appreciate the energy and the knowledge and the wisdom. And I can see as we continue down. I mean, just imagine if we advance and we're using 10 million years of memory. Imagine when we start using 20. I don't know what the number is, but I know I got more memory to access, is what I'm saying. And we all accessing it together. They don't have a shot at putting no kind of constraints on us or the melanated people on this planet because we here as safeguards for that. That's all I wanted to say there. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. We masters the universe. Mind your mind for the jewels of your soul. Most definitely appreciate each one of y'all for bringing y'all information and knowledge tonight. We got one step closer to finding what we need to find and hopefully reminding people. We're not teaching nobody nothing, but reminding them who they are, things that they already know. They only here because they already know this information. We just reminding them having this conversation. So, man, I appreciate y'all again, guys. And God, to the tribe, peace to the tribe. We had a lot of great people, a lot of great comments. Big shout out to Moon Goddess Ambrosia, the red crystal dragon, I believe. Big shout out to Melanated Immortals. Big shout out to High Priestess Moot. Please go check out Melanated Immortals. They just did a show, tap in with them because, like I say, each one of us has a different piece of the puzzle. So tap in with Neb Teharka on his show. We getting Vibes ready because Vibes gonna start dropping shows on the platform pretty soon too. We building gods. We reminding people that they're gods, so we got to start back into the God consciousness. So yeah. Outside of that, I think we're about done. You with us, God? Got us mute? Let's see. Yes, she is.
Yeah, I'm here. We ready? Y'all ready? I'm
yes,
ready.
ma'am. Take us to the promised land.
All right, let's go. Hey.
I looked inside and realized everything in life is intertwined with divine orchestration. Many revelations I've seen have led to persuasions of consciousness elevation and the soul cause of meditation. See, we slaves in the system, though simultaneously we gods in training that keep maintaining or constraining ourselves to attain new inspiration. Check it. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Your DNA contains within it ancient wisdom that can flow through every facet of your mind, of course. You're divine, of course, and all your ancestors' experiences are embedded within the fabric of your essence, and it's a blessing, but yet you're stressing because you look for solutions externally. You fail to realize all the answers to your questions lie internally. You need to meditate to activate your DNA and watch how you acclimate your demon ways to the truth, young God. Now on the count of 3, we about to elevate your DNA to a whole nother level. 1, 2, 1, 2.
What up, Kyle?
3. Humans, gather around and hear the sound. Let's go. My DNA activated, yo. Now my ego is mutilated, yeah. Got my spiritual elevated, while my physical meditated, yeah. My DNA activated, electromagnetic light, double helix to 12 strands. I've tripled my sight. I see fire inside my soul. I spit fire through every letter. Desires to get higher, then turn me to something better. Like the shredder, I be shining on these Ninja Turtles, but I'm Master Splinter. Where the fuck my Ninja Turtles? Check my team, we the bomb. We glowing like we neon. Dope music, what we be on. We infinite and beyond. Metatron's cube, hated on me transforming. See, we came to spread the love and it's going forward. Now get ready, humanity, we gon' heal the insanity. Blending fire with your soul as travels through your anatomy. You can't body me, my mind crystalline, homie. We are one, we all connected, but I'm one and only being every bobbing and weaving this light I'm perceiving that got me achieving my purpose with reason. I'm feeling this beast, I'll be killing this cause my DNA activated.
I am older than the glass that holds me, older than the labels that try to name me. I was carved in the memory of a people who walked this land long before ships crossed the ocean, before the name. Christopher Columbus was written into your history books. My people were already here. We were the builders, the astronomers, the keepers of rivers and mountains. My feathers once carried the colors of ceremony. My stones once reflected the light of the sun over ancient cities. But time changed many things. Our stories were taken. Our names were rewritten. Our sacred objects were removed from the hands of the descendants who gave them life. Now I sit behind glass called an antique, a curiosity, but I am not a curiosity. I am memory. I am identity. I am a voice of the original people of these lands. To the melanated indigenous Americans whose blood remembers this soil, the time has come to reclaim the stories, to reclaim the knowledge, and yes, to reclaim the artifacts. Because history does not live in glass cases. History lives in the people, and I am waiting to come home.